Hey folks, it's Tom your Frugal Prepper. I'm just on a lunch hour here real quick. I just got back from Cabela's and I want to talk about reloading your carry ammunition. A lot of people say that you shouldn't do that because the lawyer can say, oh, you were reloading death rounds, you know. The one gun guy on YouTube, I forget his name, but he's real popular. He explained one time that he loaded up some really powder puff rounds for his wife's 38 special, and she shot herself in the head, and the bullet didn't even penetrate the skull all the way. And so they said that she had to be shot from farther away, and he shot her. And they wouldn't let him admit into evidence that he had reloaded those rounds. They went off the casing on the rim as to what kind of round it was and how powerful it was. So there is something to be said for that, right? And they won't allow you to admit that into evidence because you don't have any proof that you did reload them or that they were reloaded light or heavy or anything. And there's no way to prove that. So I have had 2 squib loads in my life. Well, really 3, but one was my 22 conversion bolt in my AR-15. But I've had one in a 380. It was an old Taurus. It wasn't my Glock 42. And I've had one in a 38 special. Luckily, every time that's happened, I've noticed, hey, that bullet didn't hit the backstop. It felt kind of weird. Let me look. And I opened it up and shine a flashlight down the barrel. Yep, it's a squib. And so you have to, it's no big deal if that happens at the range or at practice. If you catch it in time, you can go home and just ram that sucker out and your gun's back in operation again. But if that happens in a self-defensive shooting, and you're in a fight for your life against somebody who's using deadly force, you're going to die. You know, you don't want that to happen. So I prefer to reload my own ammunition to carry because I know it's done right. So what I do is for my carry ammunition, I buy this Starline brass. This is like $20 for 100 of them for $3.80. It's kind of expensive, but it's brand new. From the markings on the bottom of it, you can tell that it's reloading brass. It's not used in a particular round by a specific manufacturer or whatever. So you can tell this was loaded, hand loaded. But I like to use new brass. I haven't been able to for the last year or two because this has been out of stock. So I have had to use just reloaded brass. I try to pick casings that don't have any identifiers on them or many, but I don't know. You know, I suppose they can look that up and see exactly what that case came from, you know. So I use that. And so I got some of this today at Cabela's, and then I got 100 of my match grade Federal primers. These are the Federal premiums. I've never had one of these fail to fire. They always work. They work very well. So I like to load my carry ammunition with this. My training ammo, I load with some cheap Argentinian primers that I get for $43 for a box of 1,000. These are $11 for one box. But I will pay that for my carry ammunition to know that it's 100% reliable. And so I use these primers, and then I load my training ammo and this with the Accurate #2. This is a very fast burning and very clean burning powder. Out of a short barrel, it burns all the powder. You get as much velocity as you can, and you don't leave a great big giant fireball. I really love this powder. It does cost about $10 more than most other powders, but it is a really nice powder. I'm surprised I don't see more people using Accurate #2 for pistols. I also use this in my AR-9, which has a 7-inch barrel. It's a legal SBR. I use this for loading that, and it works very well. I use a 114 grain bullet in that. Now for my carry bullets, I don't have any with me, but I like to carry Everglades ammo, and they make a hollow point that's 95 grains. It's a jacketed hollow point. That's what I carry, but you can buy a 500 round bag relatively cheap. It's a whole lot cheaper to make your own ammo than it is to buy the Hornady Critical Defense or whatever. And I load those. My practice training round is also 95 grain plated round nose bullet, which just hits in an identical spot as my carry round. So I really went through a lot of bullets to find two that hit the same. They don't go off by a couple inches either way, right? They hit dead the same. And in fact, I will sometimes load the gun with one of my training rounds, one of my carry rounds, one of my training rounds, one of my carry rounds. And I'll shoot a string, and I'll see that they all hit in the exact same spot. So having a training round that's cheaper to load, but hits where your carry round hits is important, right? A lot of people go out and they practice with some Wolf cheap ammo, boom, boom, boom. Then they load their gun up with their super special bullets, and they're like, oh, these are super special, and blah, blah, blah. And I've had them for 5 years, and I've never shot them. They don't know where those rounds are going to hit. They don't know sometimes if the rounds will even function correctly in their gun because they haven't shot them in their gun. Because it's $50 for a box of 20, you know, or whatever. So I like to carry my own rounds, and I practice and I do train with them. And I usually will dump off a couple mags every few months of my actual carry ammo, and then I'll load up more of it. I don't like to carry my carry ammo indefinitely, right? I just like to keep it freshened up. But I would say you could get by with 6 months or even a year in most cases. I just do it every few months. But yeah, that's what I got today. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna shoot off my rounds that I reloaded with reloaded cases, reused cases, and then I will build up some more carry ammo with these other cases. I really like the idea of using cases that are built and designed for reloading. And that's all the information they're going to get off the bottom of the case. Really, I think as long as you're using your gun properly in self-defense, it's not going to matter too much what kind of ammo you carried, but you never know if you're going to get a hold of a prosecutor that wants to make you look like a killer because you load your own ammo. I load my ammo to a medium range. I don't go max load with it. I don't go mid load with it. When I get up towards the maximum loading, it starts to become less accurate. It's faster, but it moves. When I go down too low, it doesn't always cycle the gun properly. So I run it right in the middle of that load. It seems perfect. I also use a powder trickler for my carry ammunition to make sure it's exactly the right amount, the same amount of powder in each bullet. So I'm really careful when I load up my carry ammo, and I can do it to a higher standard than some machine at Hornady that misses dropping the powder in the bullet can do. Now, those squib loads were when ammo was really tight and short. I'm sure they're just running themselves ragged 24/7 trying to make ammo, but I don't want squib loads in my carry ammo. All right, that can take your gun down, and now it's a whole new kind of fight for your life. So that's all I got. I got to get back from lunch, but I stopped at Cabela's here while I was driving by, and I got me some stuff. Now I got to get back to work in Springfield and do some stuff. So I'll talk to y'all later. This is Tom, your Frugal Prepper.